Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. That is a pack of matches. This is a lighter. Well, it's a little bit different from a lighter, a traditional one. This is a laser, actually. Let's see what happens, shall we? Now, these are also wet matches. They are a little wet. So I'm hoping they still work. Now let me tighten up the beam a little and see if that helps. Tighten up the beam a little right there now. Bigger. Oh, it looks like it's small. I'll try that one actually. I don't know if they're wet or the laser's a little weak. But there is an insidious way to boost it. I don't know how I can pull this off, but I'm going to try. Can I do this? Somehow? Yeah, I think I can. Oh, look at that. It might just work. Magnifying glass. And matches. Oh, it's going to work, all right. How cool is that, my friends? Very, very cool. Well, that's an interesting way to start an episode, isn't it? A little laser burning. Well, gang, I would like to continue chatting about the UFO bases and numbers of UFOs and what the craft are doing. When you think about it, if they were just here for reconnaissance, why would they need so many? Couldn't they watch and place other items and do everything invisibly? Why are they allowing us to see so many? And lately it's been amped up. You know, over time, if you really watch UFO case history, there's been different phases. There's early on, it was just the sighting phase and different types of sightings. And those sightings were usually, the technology was around 70 to 100 years, almost 50 to 100 years ahead of the time period of the people who are witnessing the UFOs. So about, 50 years before blimps were commonplace, there was the flying airship. And there were lots of those cases. And then over time they changed, and these changes seem to reflect future technology. Now, of course, there are always some shapes that were ubiquitous and are ubiquitous, like the saucer shape, just because it's such a great classic aerodynamic shape and great for so many reasons. But even the saucer has changed over time. The saucer was more like Art Deco-y in the past. And now I'm making that judgment based on the pictures and the stuff that I think are the very, very best, but still my judgment is just my personal judgment. You might think differently, and that's great. And that's why we should share and communicate in a positive way. So these craft have been changing, and everything seems to be very purposeful. And early on, especially, we didn't see a lot of fleets, except for that kind of thing of the super fleets that were seen on occasion, which many people now think were migrating large cranes and things like that. Anyway, nowadays, the change is there's been an increased number of sightings, and there was a big increase from around 2008 to 2015. Very big surge right there, especially a surge with the military and all over the country, really. But since around 2000, basically, their interaction with the military has increased and been more strategic. Almost every major naval exercise is being observed. And the carrier groups are observing the others, observing them. But it's done in a way almost as if it seems like it's accidental. They don't seem like they're watching, they seem very much like they're doing other activity. Like in the Nimitz encounter, it seemed more like it was, they were doing something and they were disturbed. The Tic Tac was going to the saucer, obviously transferring something. And that can give us a clue. Some of the best case history of the drones coming off of a larger craft can give us a hint here. These are a lot of craft. Why do they need so many? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. These numbers have been growing and growing over time, and they're getting closer to the ground. We're seeing more fleets closer to the ground now. And I still believe, my biggest belief in it is that they are still collecting data. The most valuable thing to an advanced civilization is data, information, bits. And life forms are one of the densest forms of data in the universe. And knowledge is power. And so right down to everything from biology to sociology to so many different things makes our planet and almost every planet unique. I know we have a huge universe. And there's incredibly similar species, I'm certain. Incredibly similar. But nature, as such a great designer, God is such a great designer. God leaves all these little pieces that can come together in so many different wonderful ways. I think the universe, of course, is bound full of different life forms, but we're unique on Earth. And so these craft, the reason why there's lots of them is I think they had to do lots because our timetable has changed. Things are getting more dangerous. Bad things can happen sooner. Or maybe they know that something is coming. And so they're increasing the rate and the amount. So it's not just the amount of craft, it's the rate. Frequency. Why? I think they're in a big last push, hurried push to get the data and information that will be salvageable. Which is very odd. It really makes you ponder. I mean, what are the other reasons? What else could they be doing? They have enough power at that technology level to certainly, one Tic Tac can go invisible. One Tic Tac could take out an entire naval fleet. I believe one Tic Tac could take out every military in the world. One Tic Tac, I believe, could take out every military in the world. Piece by piece, one by one, time by time. I'm highly suspicious that they have very powerful energy weapons. And I think if their energy weapons are commensurate with their propulsion and camouflage and other systems, that their energy weapons would be incredibly dynamic. Plus, they've had a lot more time to deal with the gravitational field than we have. The gravitational spectrum. I think it's more appropriate to look at it as the gravitational spectrum. Because we will find out in time that the gravimetric spectrum is very much like the electromagnetic spectrum. Like every one of these fields has a spectrum. What does the field do at this extreme to that extreme? What does the ray versus wave do from this extreme to that extreme? So my belief is the reason why there's more of these craft, larger amounts, is they are hurriedly going for the data, the information. They don't seem to be playing with us. If they wanted to take us out, there's billions of ways to do it a lot more efficient than slowly building a changing army underwater at bases. There are other places in the universe to live. They're not moving here as a family. Or maybe they are. I think these are all indications that the timetable is moving forward very quickly. And according to their information, they believe that there may be a global cataclysm relatively soon. And therefore, they're picking up their interaction with us. There's other possibilities, though. They could be studying us in dynamic ways. They could be dropping all these craft around the planet as tests. It's like giving a fire to humans. What are we going to do with the fire? Are we going to do only good with it? Are we going to do cooking and nice things? Or are we going to burn people and burn homes and burn in warfare? Maybe that's it. Or they could be slowly accustomizing us to their presence and their frequency and their amount and what they can do and their systems. If you look at case history, there's a lot of cases where there's interaction. It seems to me like they want interaction. Now, I have a philosophy and thoughts on this, that, and the other, but ultimately, I keep a completely open mind. I could be wrong with everything. All of this, everything, could be powerful PK projections from people's minds. They could be ultra advanced machinery from another civilization, or a race previous to Earthlings. Maybe even from our own planet. Maybe they are Earthlings. It's such a deeply fascinating question. You know, the most wonderful thing about it to me, and this is the most touchy subject about this subject, is religion. Often in humanity's past, when we force religion in a superior position over something we're trying to learn, we confuse ourselves and we teach ourselves the wrong lesson. And we in an effort to be comfortable and to be compliant with God and in a good relationship with God, we make terrible mistakes in God's name. And there'll be many people who'll be like, someone who can do psychic stuff is evil. Someone who can bend metal without touching it is evil. Someone who can see across space and time is evil. Aliens from out of space, they're evil. They're demons. They're false prophets. What if they're just like the mysterious new animal we've discovered in the rainforest? Should we be scared of it? Fearful? Or should we look at it and study it and be appreciative with wonder, knowing that it is another dynamic, wonderful creation from God that we can learn from? I think E.T. and all these civilizations shouldn't make religious people, Christians, anybody upset, or these gifts, because they all just show how dynamic and full of grace God is. And that our rainforest is a little bigger than just South America and a few other spots. That the universe is actually a rainforest, teeming, seething, writhing with life of so many different kinds. And I bet even to them, I think the evidence that UFOs are coming to us tells us that the universe has so much wonder and so much magic and so much mystery and so much varied data and information that even an ultra-advanced civilization hasn't learned it all, or hasn't acquired the smarts to project what it all could mean or be. Because that would suck to learn and know everything. Perhaps. Anyway, I know I covered a lot of weird topics there, from religion to why saucers are in such great numbers to what they could be doing. But you keep watching and you'll see that there is so much information already, because the cases are tremendous, especially in that time period I was talking about. Tremendous. Luis Elizondo even said it's a national defense threat, because the amount of data from all of these cases is almost too much to provide security over. We need to let this info out there. All the technology, it's being kept a secret by governments, not to protect us because we're going to kill each other because of religion. It's because each government wants the super technology for war. And we have to, I believe, it might be a better position to put this technology out there for everyone instantly, in the name of stopping and ending war forever. Because if you have invisible, hypersonic, metamaterial, anti-gravity, super missiles, super tanks, and super everything, it's game over for this little planet, and at least the humans and a lot of the biosphere, in my opinion. So I think it's time. I think our governments have done us all a great disservice by not providing us all with the mystery that will inspire our kids, let us know our place in the universe and how precious humans are, and how our fights amongst ourselves, our wars and suffering, is foolish. Because we have a beautiful, dynamic family out there. And we can fight with them instead. Like every good family. Anyway, guys, I love you. And I'm really curious about your opinion on why there's so many of these ships. Do you agree? It's data? Something's coming? Or is it some of the other possibilities? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Much love.